In tonight's in-depth coverage, the Oklahoma State House passed a bill that would loosen restrictions on disposing of chicken waste. Yeah, we're talking about chicken poop tonight. I heard from the bill's author who says change is needed and opponents who say it would allow companies to pollute Oklahoma waters. A bill involving pollution from commercial chicken farms in eastern Oklahoma has some people crying foul. In a rare move, the modern-day Organization of the Five Civilized Tribes released a statement strongly opposing House Bill 4118.
This really is a safe harbor for polluters. We don't need that in this state. There needs to be accountability, and no one should escape it.
4118 by Stillwell Republican David Hardin changes how the state deals with chicken poop and other waste runoffs that end up in waterways. Instead of responsibility for pollution being solely on the poultry industry, it would now be shared with the State Department of Agriculture.
Litigation that can be done, the state can still be sued. The Department of Ag can be sued if you are not in compliance. If you have an approved nutrient management plan and you are not in compliance, then this bill does not cover you.
Hardin says too many small family farms are being lumped into lawsuits even if they don't pollute, and the door is still open to sue for cases of gross negligence.
The problem is we have poultry growers out there who are following their plan. They are in compliance with a approved nutrient management plan and are still ending up in lawsuits.
Opponents of the bill say what Oklahoma has in place now is working, and anyone who pollutes should be directly responsible for their actions, not taxpayers.
The Department of Ag has had problems monitoring all of this because there's been this massive unchecked proliferation of large industrial chicken farms.
The city of Tulsa, whose main drinking water supply is Lake Spavinaw, says the lake is too close to poultry operations to not be negatively impacted. Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. says the tribe was consulted about 4118, but not on its actual wording. They worry the bill will cause more pollution on the Cherokee reservation.
There are many springs throughout the Cherokee Nation that our Cherokee ancestors went to, and it's a very healing process. It's where Cherokee culture is rooted. That being degraded is something that can happen on our watch, and we're going to do everything we can to protect it.
For more than 2 decades, the Illinois River has been at the center of a lawsuit that is still active in federal court in northeastern Oklahoma. Back in 2004, then Attorney General Drew Edmondson filed a lawsuit against large poultry farmers and processors, saying the Illinois River's natural beauty had been severely polluted from chicken waste. A trial that lasted months took place in 2009, and for 14 years, no decision came down from U.S. District Judge Gregory Frizzle. Within that 14 years of waiting, state and federal agencies began cleanup efforts on their own that are still in place today. Then Frizzle released his ruling back in January 2023, saying poultry farmers and processors were responsible for heavily polluting the river. Poultry processors like Cargill and Tyson Chicken then filed an appeal saying the ruling came down too late and was no longer relevant as to where things are today. We are still waiting to see what judgment is handed down in the case against the polluters. In the original version of House Bill 4118, they tried to roll back some of the damages that poultry companies would pay for polluting the Illinois River. That part was dropped before the House passed the bill earlier this month.
What the amendment does, it takes out the retroactive. That's unconstitutional. The legislature has no authority in ongoing lawsuits or litigation, so we've removed that out of the bill.
The U.S. Constitution, as well as state law, prohibits lawmakers from legislating the past and trying to change things that took place in the past, such as a court ruling that's already come down. Both sides in the lawsuit over pollution in the Illinois River were given until this month to come up with a plan to clean up current pollution and prevent more from happening in the future, but it's not clear if both sides can reach an agreement. If they can't, the judge says he will impose his own judgments with their own penalties that must be carried out. Phosphorus from chicken waste is still being constantly monitored, especially in the Illinois River. Phosphorus is blamed for making the Illinois River and other eastern Oklahoma bodies of water have a cloudiness to them. Agencies in Oklahoma and Arkansas share the duties of monitoring phosphorus because it can be an indicator of new pollution seeping into the entire watershed. Phosphorus is also a key food that certain types of algae like to feed off of. An increase in phosphorus can lead to an increase in algae that will hurt fish and other wildlife that rely on the river. It could also impact the fun you have as you float the river. One of the biggest arguments for more lenient regulations on chicken farms is that chicken consumption nationwide has spiked in the last couple of decades. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, chicken is one of the most popular and cheapest forms of protein in the American diet. One of the most popular ways Americans are consuming chicken is the rise of rotisserie chicken in U.S. supermarkets across the country. Data from a variety of sources indicates that Americans eat twice as much chicken every year than they do beef or pork. We will be monitoring Monday's Senate Ag Committee hearing, where the bill's fate for the rest of the session will be decided. It's possible parts of the bill could change. It's also possible, just like this week, the committee could delay action and study the bill again. They could also kill it or pass it.